Newton's connections to secret societies. Throughout history, Sir Isaac Newton has been intriguingly linked to various secret societies and fraternal orders. Given the clandestine nature of these organizations, coupled with the scarcity of publicly available evidence and questionable motives for attributing Newton's involvement, it remains a challenge to definitively confirm his membership in any specific group. Nevertheless, it is worth noting that several Masonic buildings have been dedicated in his honor. Despite the uncertainty surrounding his membership status, Newton was known to be associated with numerous individuals who themselves were often labeled as members of esoteric groups. It remains unclear whether these connections were due to Newton's widely recognized scholarly achievements, his role as an early member and president of the Royal Society, his prominent position as Master of the Mint, his status as a knight, or his active pursuit of membership in these secretive organizations. Considering the nature and legality of alchemical practices during his lifetime, as well as his possession of various alchemical materials and manuscripts, it is plausible that Newton was part of a group of like-minded thinkers and collaborators. However, the degree of organization, secrecy, and Newton's involvement within such a group remains a mystery. Although Newton was generally considered a private individual with limited social inclinations, joining societies or clubs was a popular form of interpersonal networking during his time. Given his esteemed social status, it is likely that Newton would have had some interactions with such groups at different levels. He was undoubtedly a member of the Royal Society of London for the Improvement of Natural Knowledge and the Spalding Gentlemen's Society, but these were scholarly societies rather than esoteric ones. Newton's membership in any particular secret society remains elusive and speculative, yet it continues to fuel popular fascination, except for one: Newton and the Rosicrucians. Arguably, the movement that had the most significant influence on Isaac Newton was Rosicrucianism. Although the Rosicrucian movement had stirred excitement within Europe's intellectual circles during the early 17th century, its prominence had somewhat waned by the time Newton reached adulthood. Nevertheless, the movement profoundly impacted Newton's alchemical work and philosophical thought. The Rosicrucian conviction of being specially chosen for the ability to communicate with angels or spirits resonates with Newton's prophetic beliefs. Moreover, the Rosicrucians claimed to possess the elixir of life and the philosopher's stone, which would grant them eternal life and the power to create infinite wealth. Like Newton, the Rosicrucians were deeply religious, avowedly Christian, anti-Catholic, and highly politicized. Newton took a keen interest in their alchemical pursuits, as well as their belief in esoteric truths of ancient history and the notion of enlightened individuals gaining insight into nature, the physical universe, and the spiritual realm. At the time of his death, Newton's personal library contained 169 books on alchemy, and it is believed that he owned even more during his Cambridge years, though he may have sold them before moving to London in 1696. His collection was considered one of the finest alchemical libraries of his time. Among the volumes Newton left behind were heavily annotated personal copies of key Rosicrucian texts, including The Fame and Confession of the Fraternity R.C. by Thomas Vaughan, and works by the learned alchemist Michael Mayer. Newton's possession of these materials does not, however, confirm his membership in any early Rosicrucian order. Some argue that his personal alchemical investigations, focused on discovering materials the Rosicrucians claimed to have long before his birth, would exclude him from their ranks. Yet, in religious terms, one person's discovery would not preclude others from seeking the same truth. During his lifetime, Newton and several members of the Royal Society were openly accused of being Rosicrucians. Although it remains uncertain whether Isaac Newton was indeed a Rosicrucian, and he never publicly identified as one, his writings suggest that he may have shared many of their sentiments and beliefs. The enigmatic connections between Newton and various secret societies continue to captivate the imaginations of scholars and enthusiasts alike. While his membership in esoteric organizations remains largely speculative, these associations add another layer of intrigue to the already fascinating life of one of history's most brilliant minds. Sir Isaac Newton's profound impact on science, mathematics, and philosophy is undisputed, but the possibility that he was part of a secret world of knowledge seekers only adds to the allure of his extraordinary legacy. Conclusion. Although he employed theories of alchemical origin as a means of understanding and enlarging natural philosophy, The countless hours he spent deciphering alchemical texts and putting his conclusions to the test in his laboratory had a more practical goal. In a word, the founder of classical physics aimed his bolt at the marvelous menstrua and volatile spirits of the sages, the instruments required for making the philosopher's stone. Difficult as it may be for moderns to accept that the most influential physicist before Einstein dreamed of becoming an alchemical adept, the gargantuan labor that Newton devoted to experimental chrysopoeia speaks for itself. The chemical tools envisaged by Newton, had he been able to acquire them, would have handed him the power to alter nature to its very heart. These were the secrets that the true Hermetic philosopher must keep hidden lest they cause immense damage to ye world, as he said to the Secretary of the Royal Society in 1676. The core of Newton's labours at deciphering the documents of the adepts lay in his own undying quest to join their number, and for this reason many consider Newton the first of the Age of Reason and the last of the magicians.